Thank you very much. We now have school highlights. And Dr. Anderson is headed to the podium.
It is at this time at the board meeting that we are so privileged to have a senior, and it's really neat when it's the beginning of the year because you are the first senior of the month in Topeka Public Schools. And so as we get ready to get our Senior of the Month kicked off, we also have a video of our Senior of the Month, and that it will be pushed out on social media for thousands of people to watch today. So if you can indulge for just a moment, we're going to go ahead and play the video, and then we're going to turn it over to Mrs. Morrissey to introduce our Senior of the Month.
Paul became our student of the month because we accepted nominations and then had an entire vote of our staff. And he was the winner, which also tells you that more people know him than just those that have him in class.
My favorite moment here in Topeka High was when I first joined theater. Our first play was Robin Hood.
Paul is one of two students this year who has been nominated and now accepted to the National Choir. We've never had that occur before. So we have a young lady in Paul who will be representing Topeka Public Schools in the National Choir this year, and it's a first ever. So that is a special accomplishment that comes from his unique talents. He has taken a ton of weighted classes and weighted courses and has a 4.16 weighted GPA. So he is academically very high, and he is also very involved.
My choir teacher, Mr. Eubank, he sees my potential, and he's given me lots of opportunities, and he just wants me to succeed as an awesome choir kid.
Paul's also a very humble young man. He would not tell you a lot about himself unless you make him, because that's not why he does the things he does or why he's who he is.
What makes Topeka High special is that adults here want to see their students succeed. But it's not just those words, it's what they do to make students succeed.
So we wanted to share that 2-minute highlight that'll be going out this evening. We are so very proud of you, and so I'm going to call your principal up to share a little bit more, and then turn it over to you, and congratulations to our Senior of the Month, Ms. Morrissey.
Dr. Morrison, members of the board, and Dr. Anderson, as well as our leadership team. It is always a privilege to get to speak to you, but it is a special privilege when I get to introduce such a fine young man. And Paul, I do not stand here by myself, so here you go, right here as I introduce you. Paul Kabili is one of those kids who you will not be able to stay in our building long and not recognize him. He walks the halls with the biggest smile on his face. And as if his smile isn't big enough, I think his heart is bigger. He's one of the first students that made himself known to me when I arrived at Topeka High to make sure that I felt welcome. He is a student who excels in many areas. You heard about the music already and the fact that he is representing us on the national stage along with one of our female students. He is a student who is involved in many things because he understands that is that involvement that takes him to the next level. He's a member of French Club. He is actually trilingual. He is a member of Mu Alpha Theta, one of our math clubs. He is a part of our Scholar Bowl team. And I'm missing one. Oh, he's a member of Tri-Am, which is the music. When I was visiting, I said, so I know you've been in the plays. What about the musicals? And he said, no, can't do the musical. You're a national singer. Why haven't you done the musical? Because I swim, and that's during swimming. And he does the 200 IM. I'll let him rat himself out and all that. He does relays, so he's a swimmer. You heard his GPA. He's currently an AP student in 3 different classes this semester, so he has taken a bunch of college preparatory classes. And being academically excellent and being a good all-around gold standard person as a true Trojan wasn't enough. He is also someone who gives back to his church and to his community. He said, I sing specials, which for those of us that go to church, that means that during the offertory, he shares his talent. And not only is he a singer, but he plays the violin. So this is a kid who is a true Renaissance man in an era. He is a kid who will tell you in his own words that he wants to be a part of the social environment in school, and he certainly does that in his own way. But he has truly traversed the last 4 years with a focus on his future. I think that is a testament to his mother, who is here this evening. Tess Kabila is one of our math teachers. And by the way, I did vote for Paul in the staff vote. Mother did not. She forgot. So, Mom wasn't one of those votes that made him win. You can't blame that. Mr. Eubank speaks to the kind of teachers we have, because I ran into him at 3:30. This was a fast turnaround. We didn't know we were the first one very quickly. And I saw him at 3:30 and said, oh, by the way, this is going to happen this evening, and here he is. And Ms. Paula Riley, our associate principal. So extended family this evening for Paul. At this time, the person you came to hear this evening, Mr. Paul Kabila.
Good day to you all. Dale Carnegie once said, there are always 3 speeches for every one you actually gave. The one you practiced, the one you gave, and the one you wish you gave. This one is the one I gave. Therefore, I cannot guarantee if this is even funny, good, or bad. As of news last week, I was nominated as Senior of the Month. Also, I had to prepare a speech by this week of Thursday. Thanks to Ms. Morrissey, she gave me a suggestion to make a personal narrative speech, since most of you do not know me at all, and every other senior before or after me. My name is Paul Kabili. I was born and raised in Philippines for 10 years. As of today, I'm currently living here in America for 7 years. In my family, I have a hardworking dad, Roy, a Hawkeye teacher mother, Teresa, a silent but scary 23-year-old brother, Stanley, and an adorable yet bossy 4-year-old brother, Philip. I'm great with math, thanks to Mom, and I like music, thanks to Dad. However, there is a factor in my life that stands out. I have a relationship with my Lord Jesus Christ. Obey them that have the rule over you, and submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls as they that must give account, that they may do it with joy and not with grief, for that is unprofitable for you. Hebrews 13:17. For my entire life of high school career, I saw so much opportunity. Thanks to the truck-like force to put me in Topeka High by my mom, I believe that Topeka High provides a firm foundation for future students based on its past alumni. Faculties, staffs, teachers, and many other adults there are plugged in that school just so they could see their students become successful and become a benefit to them. I felt that I was welcomed by them. One was Mr. Eubank. He saw my potential to be in choir despite my lack of choir knowledge, clouded with orchestral knowledge. Now, my friend, Amber Schmidt, and I will be heading to Disneyland, Florida the week after Thanksgiving break for National Choir, sponsored by NAFME. He was not the only elder I chose to submit to, but all of my elders in Topeka High ever since my freshman year. Even further back, my middle school elders in French middle school too. High school is not always easy, and teenagers can be a challenge to one another, whether it is direct or indirect. I have not always fit in with the expectation of the popular crowd, or been as focused in that moment and having fun as some of my other peers. However, that did not stop me from giving into immorality. I finish my schoolwork and become on top of my schedule. I come to meetings and become alert for club activities I participate. I stay on task with what is going on for Topeka High sports and abide with my sportsmanship. I still help others out when they need help with their schoolwork. I also appreciate the few friends I have made in my activities. But more importantly, I follow the elders that were placed in my life. Now I am exceeding their expectations, and I am happy with where I am. Thanks to my parents, I become more submitted to those who are an influence in my life. Thanks to my elders, I know what they expect out of me. As I walk back to my seat, I leave you all with one thought about me. I am a unique human who just realized what he needed to say but wasted his time talking about how most of my high school career was ruined by most of the student body. In reality, I'm happy I was nominated to be the Senior of the Month. Not because I have a bunch of activities, not because I'm intelligent, even though I'm not, but because I'm who God made I am. Thank you for your time, and hail to the black and gold forever.
Well, come on around this way. I was gonna say, that's the first I've seen everyone stand. It is our pleasure to give you, Paul Kabili, this recognition for Senior of the Month. And I believe your principal also has something for you as well.
Thank you for the reminder. And oh, by the way, this is not West Purple, it's K-State.
And you wanna open it and see what it is? In there?
K-State pen, guys. Oh, yes.
You wanna open that? Go, Mom.
He didn't share. One of two choices. He told me K-State or Heartland Baptist, and with the turnaround, we went with K-State.
And so we're gonna take a photo with the school board, and we have one more recognition, so if you can hang tight, Mom, for 5 minutes, if you can hang tight for 5 minutes. Again, congratulations, we'll take a photo with the whole school board, and we're gonna so very proud. Wow, stand applause.
So, Dr. Anderson,
Oh, no, and
we
questions.
may have some questions that we would like to
Right,
ask.
they may have questions for you, so I'm sure they're here.
So,
Want to give that to you, Mom?
yes, go ahead. Mr. Woods.
So, Mr. Kabili, thank you very much for coming to speak to us. Very much enjoyed your speech. I love the poise and the composure and the way that you mixed humor in as you spoke to us about serious subjects, what it means to be in high school. A couple of quick questions for you, just so you're obviously a very bright young man. All of your studies show this, but then the way you handle yourself, you've got a bright future in front of you. Where do you think, this was kind of answered just a moment ago, where do you think you want to go to school? Number one, what do you want to study? Number two, and the giant question, what do you think Mr. Kabili will be when he grows up?
Oof. Oh, well, originally I have like a bunch of colleges in mind since when I came here in America, I realized there are a lot more colleges than what I have back in the Philippines. But I narrowed it down to just, well, as of now, I narrowed it down to K-State for engineering purposes and Heartland Bible Baptist.
A couple people at the table who'd probably be okay with that.
Yep, you can see a bunch of purple here, or a mix of purple. And Heartland Bible Baptist down in Oklahoma for basically music ministry, and probably missions work somewhere in the world. But as of what I look forward in my future, I could be like a mix of both, an engineer and a music conductor.
Fantastic.
And I got approval from Mr. Eubanker, maybe.
Thank you very much. That's fantastic. I know you're going to do wonderful no matter what you do, regardless of which institution you choose. You could always choose the University of Kansas for your graduate work.
Ooh, that's also down in my bucket full of recommendations.
So either way, I know you're going to do wonderful, and we're really proud of you, and I look forward to seeing you in some of the theater productions this year.
Right.
Other questions or comments? I just want to say congratulations, Paul. And I also want to bring out kudos to Mr. Eubank, who has been a music teacher for a few years at Topeka High. for this year having 2 national choir members. So. Thank you very much.
Thank you, all school board.
Under the consent, there'll be a proclamation, and I want to also acknowledge our staff member that's here for when that proclamation is also read. This is Hispanic Heritage Awareness Month. We'd like for Ms. Lucero to come forward. She didn't know she's coming forward, but she is always so quick on her feet, so that not only can we acknowledge Hispanic Heritage Month, but she can also share who's with us this evening. When we, as we make this acknowledgement and proclamation, we also like for those folks to stand. And if you can read either all or a portion of the proclamation as well, that would be wonderful. We'd be honored.
Good evening, school board and Dr. Morrison, and pleasure to be here. And I will first read, and then I'll honor those who are here so they can stand up. So Hispanic Heritage Month is not Cinco de Mayo. Just had to let everyone know. September 15th to October 15th is when it is celebrated. It's a month to reflect not only the past, but also the future role of Hispanics in the United States. And whereas the Topeka Public Schools joins its fellow citizens in recognizing Hispanic Heritage Awareness Month as a means of celebrating the Hispanic contributions to our country's culture and heritage. And whereas it is fitting that the school board, staff, and students of Topeka Public Schools USD 501 joins this observance for Hispanic Heritage Awareness Month. And I would like to welcome our International Teachers of Scott. So if our International Teachers of Scott could please stand. And we actually have 2 countries represented. And so, as you know, we were named the International Spanish Academy, which is exciting, so that's why I thought it'd be great to have our international staff here. We have 2 teachers from Spain, Mr. Cavete and Miss Almu, because she teaches kindergarten. We go by first name in preschool. And then, as you know, these 2 Puerto Rican teachers over here, we have Miss Ponce de Ponce. She's from Ponce, Puerto Rico. And we have Miss Rodriguez, who we got from Wichita. And I cannot believe how much of a hero these teachers are to me. Coming to another country and then teaching in that country and teaching dual language at Scott in another country, they are just phenomenal, and the wealth that they bring to our school is great. And it was actually fun tonight to have them here and explain the school board process and how we do that even here in the United States, because it is different than their countries. So.
Do you have questions for Ms. Lucero or?
Any comments or questions?
I just want you all to know that the board, and I'm sure I'm speaking for everybody, are so thankful and appreciative that you've chosen to join us. You bring such enrichment to our children that we can't manufacture that out there. You bring it to us, so we really are appreciative. We just need more of you. Thank you.
So at this time, if we can take maybe just 5 minutes to have a photo with our international teachers as well as with our senior of the month, if the board pleases, if we can do that for a few moments.
Purchasing contracts for and on behalf of the board.
Motion and second. Is there any discussion? Dr. Mickelson.
Just want to recognize under donations, assuming we accept this donation, a plaque by Governor Terry's wife at the Constitution Plaza, which is flagpole east of Topeka High School. So recognize Governor's 20 years of service as your ROTC instructor at Topeka High, and also 20 years of military service. So since we're fortunate to be part of this program the past 2 years, the impact he's had on his life has been important for him to go through the development. And so I'm appreciative of the opportunity to suggest we accept this plaque.
Absolutely. Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, we're ready to vote. Thank you, Ms. Lister. We are now ready for the superintendent's report.
No, you're back, go ahead.
At this time, we have several items that we want to share with the board. I am actually pulling up my agenda. And I listed a variety of things that we want to talk about this evening. The first item is my apologies. My computer closed down, and I just opened it back up, and I want to make sure I go in the order in which it's listed. The first item is our hurricane relief efforts, and we put out a community news in regards to our hurricane relief efforts. Dr. Murray, our music director, is currently right now serving as part of the military service in those hurricane relief efforts. In addition to that, we are accepting, this was not in the community news, but we are accepting foreign exchange students from Texas. And as other impacted areas continue to unfold, we will continue accepting foreign exchange students, and we'll be giving the board an update as to how many we've accepted and what schools they are placed in. Additionally, as part of our relief efforts, the United Way is our main source in which we are using as our donating partner to ensure that we are able to give in that regard. Lastly, our blood drive, we learned that there was not a blood drive in Topeka at this time, so we have extended an offer to be a location in which a blood drive can be held this month. I believe Sheldon was the site that is being considered. Is that the site that we're going with? And so we thank Ms. McKenzie and Sheldon for being available for a blood drive, and more information will be forthcoming as that's been approved as of today. So we will be the Topeka community site for that particular blood drive. Beyond the hurricane relief efforts, the other updates that we wanted to share with you as well was regarding our Equity Summit. Mrs. Kruger has a flyer that she will pass out to you. Our Equity Summit will kick off on October the 9th. We will have multiple courageous conversations on a variety of topics. Some of the topics are listed on the Equity Summit flyer, although all are not. They will cover items such as social justice issues, race, gender, and a variety of other topics that will unfold during that time. As a reminder, as one of our 5 goals in our strategic plan, equity in school climate is one of them. Within that equity goal, we have equity also embedded within all of our goals as we look at ways to reduce poverty in Topeka, and as we look at ways to explore topics that impact students in schools. We do want to share that at this time, in addition to that Equity Summit and those courageous conversations, today was a release of our the docu-series at Highland Park High School, in which we will also be talking about equity through that lens with that particular series. So look forward to the courageous conversations that are forthcoming that are addressed not only throughout the series, but also throughout this work that we're doing. The last item I want to update the board on is our Topeka High Student Clinic. This is a piece that we've talked about previously, so just to give you an update on that status, the University of Kansas has at least expressed interest in having some dialogue about the clinic, and Stormont Vail expressed some early dialogue. So we are really looking at conversations with both partners to see which partner might be ready to be well positioned to proceed forward. The goal is to have a school-based health clinic in place this year at Topeka High. Mr. Robbins has already looked at the facilities, and we have identified a space in which that construction can begin. Our meeting will be occurring within the next week with a school clinic committee. The board member on that committee is Dr. McCarthy. We have a parent, the Topeka High principal, the nurse coordinator, and a variety of other individuals, which includes Mr. Robbins. Those are all of the updates for this evening. I feel like a news channel. All right.
Any questions for Dr. Anderson? Ms. Kirk?
I just, on your courageous conversation, you have immigration down, and it brought to my mind the number of students that we have that might be DACA kids, and the need for us to kind of be aware of the anxiety and downright fear, I think, for a number of these kids, and certainly to make sure that we have things in place to help staff deal with these issues as they arise.
And I'm actually glad that you mentioned that. Mrs. Curry is hosting an event for parents as it relates to DACA. And she has a law seminar regarding students knowing their rights, parents knowing their rights, and also parents getting some services. It'll be held at the Quinton Heights location, and information is posted on our webpage about that DACA resources through Ms. Curry. Thank you for mentioning that, and we will certainly keep that uppermost in our mind.
One point of clarification, and you may have said this and I just didn't catch it. The date for this is October 9th, or is that?
That is
when
the
it started?
summit.
Okay.
Well, the summit will kick off, and the summit in part will be kicking off just at around the same time actually as the docuseries will be kicking off. At that summit, we do have a presenter who is a national figure in having led the Race Card Project. And so she will be helping with the panel discussion and moderating that. Following that summit, so part of the summit may very well be watching a portion or viewing a portion of the docu-series as a screening, a pre-screening at that time. In addition to that, the Courageous Conversations will then follow. So we will be giving information about what dates, what months, what's being hosted throughout the community, and we anticipate that there'll be multiple Courageous Conversations throughout the community that people can pick and choose what they want to go to. Equity Council members have been in agreement that they would attend some or all, for some people, of those sessions.
Okay, we are ready for board comments. Mr. Williams? Dr. Mickelson? Ms. Johnson? Dr. McCarthy? Mr. Woods?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll be really quick tonight. I'm actually glad that Ms. Kirk brought up the recent announcement that we had on DACA not too long ago, because I know that affects so many of our students. And I wanted to go on record. I know certainly I'm speaking from the same point as every single person who sits behind this desk. For all of our students, I would understand that we have every single one of these students is important to their lives. Our job is to make sure they can fulfill their goals, talents, and we're aware of the fact that this creates challenges and a lot of stress on the families. But our message should be clear. I think that our schools are a safe place for everybody. Make sure that's the case. I do know also, as we released earlier this year, the information that our schools are places students don't need to worry, parents don't need to worry about children coming. There were concerns about federal agents and things like that going to schools. It's not the case. We should remind everyone that without a criminal warrant, our students are safe, regardless we love every single one of these schools. So I thank Ms. Kirk for bringing that up. It's definitely going to be something causing extra stress. I think it's unneeded. You asked me a question. Unneeded. So, certainly don't want to get into too much of a political discussion, but I think the more political decision we saw. And my hope now is that our elected members of Congress will step forward and hopefully fix this problem once and for all. And lift the shadow, the unnecessary cloud of fear over so many good young people who want to do nothing but work and make this a better country. So thank you guys for indulging me for just a moment. I think it's important that we get a chance to say that.
Thank you, Mr. Woods. I think we would all second that. Ms. Kirk? I just have one thing, and Mr. Rousseau may want to comment about this, but I attended a meeting on the broadband initiative, if I could say it. And you are on that committee, I was told anyway. But anyway, what of course, that will affect our kids. Trying to get just generalized, at least internet ability throughout the county, actually. And right now, that initiative is such that they've hired somebody to make recommendations on how this can be accomplished. And those recommendations should come out in the winter, early in the winter, and it should be looked at by all the city people and all the people on the broadband committee. And of course, Mr. Rousseau will probably have somebody else take his place on that committee. But it's coming. It's a very good recommendation. It was a meeting that was very, very interesting because, it's like kindergarten for IT for me. So it was very good. But keep your eyes open for that.
And President Morrison, may I make a correction on the DACA dates and where it's held? When I mentioned Quinton Heights and staff there are partnering with WashU Law Clinic. So I just want to make sure that that is corrected. And then September 8th, 15th, 22nd, and 29th, the Law Clinic is actually providing services for the families in partnership with our district. And we're just distributing the information and encouraging them to go and putting it on our webpage.
Is there anything else before the board? All right. I'll take a motion for adjournment. Any discussion? We're ready to vote.
The vote is open.
Did we get out in time for the ball game?
That's what I heard at supper tonight. We weren't very.
Motion carries.
Would have been happy to.
Unanimous.
I have my calendar.
So we are adjourned. Thank you all.
Board members, although we are all adjourned and the audience is adjourned, very briefly, I saw one of our parents just departed who has a student that just recently transitioned. Can we just take a few moments of silence just in memory of our student? Because tomorrow we'll be having a service. And had I noticed that she was in the audience, I would have had that moment of silence then. And while the meeting is over, if we can take just a moment of silence at this time.